and then we'll start. Hello, everyone. This is Loretta Sernowski from Remax Legacy, and welcome to another episode of Living in Rocky Point. Today, we are getting some super helpful information. If you are interested in selling or if you're interested in buying, you have to deal with number one, me as your realtor, and number two, you have to deal with a closing coordinator. And I am so grateful that we are lucky to have the best closing coordinator in Rocky Point talking to us today. Welcome, Suzette Pentaha.
Thank you for having me, Loretta. I'm so happy to be here and provide information to your clients. I think that makes feel them more safe when investing in Mexico.
Of course. Now, can you tell us a little bit about your background and your legal experience?
Sure. I was raised and born here in Peñasco. I went to University of Sonora for my degree in law. I was 5 years, and then I started practicing just after finished school. I started working in a legal office doing closings and transactions coordinations, legal advice. Then I moved to Hermosillo to work with a notary's office, so I have experience working with notaries also. Then I came back to Peñasco and started working with Untitled Latin America. I used to be here, so I was one of the closing coordinators there. And then I also work as an in-house attorney for Remax Legacy. And then I decided to open my own business in 2012.
Okay. So for most Americans and Canadians that don't know what a closing coordinator is because it's not in a North American real estate transaction. So how would you describe what a closing coordinator actually does?
We basically act like it's similar than a title company, but it's different because the process in Mexico, it's different. The law is different. So we have a figure in Mexico that is the public notary, that is basically like the one that prepares all the documents and has the authority to approve any real estate transaction in Mexico. It's different from the States because the notary figure is different there. So everything is done in a title company. And I know because my clients always tell me that closing a transaction in the U.S. is very simple. They do everything on the closing table and they have title the same day they sign. So in Mexico, it's more complex, the process. And Canada, I know that is similar than the States, but in Canada, it's required to have an attorney to look on the transaction, is what I know. So in Mexico, I always recommend to my clients and to any people that wanted to invest here in Mexico to have an attorney looking into the transaction because there are a lot of legal issues that can come, and then we need somebody that with the expertise to resolve those issues. So in Mexico also, when foreigners are investing into the restricted zone that is near to the border into the beach, we need to have them acquiring via bank trust or what we call fideicomiso. And I want to clarify something on this way to own property in Mexico. Some people think that they don't own it, that there is a lease. The difference between the fideicomiso and acquiring as a Mexican with a Mexican title is just that you, on the fideicomiso or bank trust, you have a Mexican bank that is part of the bank trust and is just managing the bank trust. And basically, I always tell my clients this brief story on the past because Mexico didn't want to lose more property or more territory like Texas and Arizona. So they avoid or they stop like letting foreigners investing in Mexico. So because they wanted to have like foreign investment, they find a way to protect that part. So they create the fideicomiso. So with the fideicomiso, basically the Mexican government is seeing what is going to happen with the land if like that is the reason that the bank is involved, and anything that the client wants to do with the property needs to be approved by the bank first. But they have the same price that we have to rent, to use, to sell, to transfer.
Do you think they'll ever change that?
Well, I don't know, because I think like maybe I think it was when Peña Nieto was the president. That was like maybe 12 or I don't remember how many years, but one of the senators like present to change the law, a reformation of that law, and it didn't pass. So I don't know if that's gonna change. Honestly, it can, because that will make things easier for clients to invest in Mexico, but it's hard because the Mexican government also wants to protect that part that I was talking about.
Yeah, I understand. It's revenue for them. I mean, the bad part for Mexico, Americans, Canadians, they're always nervous because there's so many myths around if you're owning a property and people can take away your property and all those types of things that aren't true. That's why it's important for me to have this podcast and tell people that it's a legal and binding document. No one can take the property away. Just go through the correct processes like we are.
Yeah, and because he's certified by an authority, and it's recorded into the public registry. So yeah, it is. It is a document that will protect them, and that's the only difference basically. And you know what I like from the fideicomisos or bank trusts that we don't have as a Mexicans on the titles is that there is a part on the bank trust that you can appoint your substitute beneficiaries in case something happens to you. And that makes the process very simple, because we just go to the bank and we say this primary beneficiary passed away, so we need to recognize the substitute beneficiary. And it's a simple process to follow. I like that from the bank trust. I even have clients that with dual citizenship that they say, I want to keep the bank trust because my kids are non-Mexicans and I just want to have that option for them.
That's true, especially if a Mexican marries an American. It's safe for them to both be on title as time of bank trust. We have a fan watching, Jose Boo says hi. Jose, what time is the World Cup games today? Let us know. It's at noon?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, so maybe he's getting the bar ready for a big crowd. So I just want to, because you and I work a lot together on this, I just want to explain to everyone exactly how the process works. So when I'm with my clients and we decide to make an offer on a property, let's say we're dealing with the buyers, then I fill out the offer with the price and everything, and then we go into the contingencies. And so one of the contingencies is that's when the closing coordinator becomes involved, because then it's whether who's paying for the fees, that type of thing. And we're also writing on the offer which closing coordinator we are going to use, who's going to handle the transaction. So after the offer is accepted, then I send everything to your office and they open escrow. And can you explain what happens, what your office does when you get the paperwork?
Okay, so when we receive an accepted offer from an agent, we request the contact information for buyer and seller, and we basically act as an impartial part to help buyer and seller with all the process. And what we do is that we send a welcome letter saying that we're gonna be the closing coordinator for this transaction. And with the welcome letter, we normally send an explanation, like a brief explanation of the process, a list of the requirements for the process. We also send the buyer instructions to wire funds to escrow, and we start from there. And after we send that and we confirm the earnest money in escrow, we start working, reviewing, because we also review that the transaction that we're going to coordinate is sellable, like that it's free and clear of liens, because we don't want to work on a transaction and then be on the stage to close and see, oh, there is a lien. So the first thing that we check is that the property is sellable, that is free and clear of liens. Then we check HOA fees, property taxes, fiduciary fees. We check the utilities, like if there is water service, electric. So we want to make sure that the property is free and clear, and if there is any outstanding amount to be paid for any utility, we need to include that into the closing costs.
And I think it's really important to mention, especially for those people who have purchased a property, you can't even imagine how many people they get their trust and then they don't know where it is. They put it in a shoebox somewhere, in a closet. You know, when you put your property up for sale, you got to know where it is, and you got to be able to provide it to the closing coordinator within 3 to 5 days, because that's where you gather a lot of information about the property. So if you're planning on selling your property or you already have it up for sale, then make sure that you have that trust accessible. Don't, if you leave for the summer and you're going back to the States or whatever, where is your trust located? Because the last thing you want is to have to FedEx it or mail it to us. I've had to pick up trust lots of times, and it just causes a delay in the whole process, which we don't want.
Yeah, this is a really good point, because, well, trust is a big book like this. It's not like 5 pages. And we need like at least the first like 50 pages and then other pages. So we basically need the complete copy in order to work in closing costs. And yeah, it's better to have it in good quality. That is something important to mention too, that when we're requesting documents, sometimes clients took photos and you can see fingers on the IDs, and it's really important, and we always make that note on our email, saying that please send like good quality, color, scan copies with an actual scanner, not with a telephone. And sometimes my clients say, oh, I don't have a scanner. And it's very easy, because you can go to any FedEx office, and they do everything for you and send it to me. We also work with companies with a secure portal that they can send the documents there, because some clients are concerned to send documents by email.
Okay, perfect. So let's talk about the documents that are required, because whenever we get this request, when your office sends out a request, and people feel very uncomfortable about having to provide this information, like their passport and their marriage certificate, and what documents are required for the transaction and why.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I have clients that invest in transactions like a few years ago, and they tell me, you didn't request that much when I purchased this property. And this is very important to the clients to understand that in 2014, we have this new law, the anti-money laundering law in Mexico, that changed everything. That changed the requirements that we used to request. So now we have more requirements because it was established on that law. And all these requirements are provided to the notary and to the bank and to the public registry. So they need to keep that file. It's also very important to understand that real estate transactions are considered on that law like a transaction that needs to be part of the anti-money laundering law. And for that reason, we need to, all the parties involved, like me as a closing coordinator, you as a real estate agent, the notary, the bank, we need to keep a file for the transaction, like describing purchase price and everything, and identifying the clients and the parties. So that is the reason that we have more documents on the list of requirements. And I can tell you an example. For example, we always request passports. Needs to be current. We also request driver's license. We need like two IDs, two official IDs. But for foreigners, it will be passport and driver's license. For Mexicans, it's different. We also request a utility bill to prove like they live in the States. We also request the birth certificate, the marriage certificate, and the social security number, that card, actually social security card. That is something that the clients don't feel so good about it, but it's something that we need to provide to the government.
Mm-hmm. Right. And because anti-money laundering laws, that's exactly why it is. Mm-hmm. And there's not much that you can do about it. So I actually was talking to my clients yesterday, and they said, before in the States, even like 30 years ago, you didn't even have to show any ID to buy a property. But I know for sure right across North America, Canada, US, Mexico, you have to provide some sort of identification to prove who you are, because there's lots of fraudulent activity now.
Even when you crossed in the border, on the past, you cross the border, just say, no, you're a citizen. And now you have to show passport.
Yeah. So here's some questions that people ask me. Do I have to have a passport to buy a property in Mexico?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And do I have to have a residency card when I buy a property?
No. If you don't have that and you're buying a property in Mexico, when you come to sign the deed, you can request a temporary one at the border that is good for 6 months, and you can use that to prove your legal status in Mexico.
Okay. So what would your advice be to someone who's interested in buying property as a closing coordinator? How should they be prepared?
Well, first, work with a good and excellent real estate agent, so they receive the information and all what they need, like when looking for a property. So after they decide that they want to buy and they write the offer, then they need to know that it's gonna start a really complex process, because I'm not gonna lie, it's a complex process in Mexico. But my role in that complex process is make everything smoother for the clients and feel that they feel safe with the transaction. So it's good that they find a professional that can look on the transaction and see like all the things that we need to review to make sure that the transaction is gonna be a sellable property, and that the transaction is gonna be taken care in a way that the experience for the clients will be safe and smooth.
How would you speak to the question of what are my closing costs could be?
Well, that really depends on the purchase price. We normally have notary fees, and some clients, when they say the notary, say, what? Why? A notary here in the US charge like $7 or $25. The fee of the notary in Mexico is different. A notary in Mexico, it's an attorney appointed by the governor to be a notary in Mexico, and they give faith of the real estate transactions, for example, in this case. So we, as a closing coordinators, we have connections with different notaries, and we always have like a special rate for our clients, because normally notaries charge also depending on the purchase price a percentage, but with us they have this special rate. So you will have the notary fee that it's gonna be around 1,500 to maybe 3,000 sometimes, between that amount. It also depends on how many acts we're doing on the transactions, because if we're talking just a straight like cession of rights from buyer to seller, is just one act. But if we have a seller that tell me, oh, me and my wife were beneficiaries of this trust, but my wife passed away like I don't know, about a year ago, and I haven't take care of this. So in that case, we need to do several acts. So that depends, but I'm not going to confuse like the audience now. So I'm just gonna go straight from buyer to seller. So we have notary fees, we have attorney fees, that is basically my fee as a closing coordinator. And we need to understand that, like in the States, or a closing coordinator is not necessary to be an attorney. There are closing coordinators that are not attorneys and are doing closing. So yeah, I always in my case, it's, and if I was a client, I would rather work with an attorney.
Sure.
Because there are a lot of legal implications on the transaction. So if you don't have that knowledge, you cannot see it. You cannot see them. So, well, we have notary, attorney, closing coordinator. We have the transfer fee that depends. Sometimes it's 2.5 to 3%. It depends on the purchase price too. So we have, let's say, 3% transfer fee based on the purchase price. Well, I say based on the purchase price, but it's basically based on three values: city value, appraisal value, and sales price on the highest value. So it's the 3%. Then we have appraisal, public registry fees, bank fees, well, commission that seller normally pays for that, escrow fee, and HOA fee, because there is a transfer fee for when we have HOA, and some other expenses like power if we need power of attorney or translate documents. So, but basically those are the fees, and it really depends on the purchase price because of this 3%.
Right. What do you enjoy most about your job?
I enjoy seeing my clients like making their dream come true of buying a house in the beach in Mexico. Like, I always enjoy that, like seeing them so happy, and also I enjoy that I think that I'm doing contribution to my hometown, because well, you know, like the primary activity for Peñasco is the real estate and for investment. So by making my clients feel safe and wanting to come to Mexico and go there and talk about Mexico, how amazing it is. So I think by doing my job like in a right way and making feel safe, I think I'm like doing something to contribute to my community. So I think is what I really enjoy that. And I like the process. I like when I find something that is like, oh, I see, so I need to do a strategy. So I use a lot of imagination. Sometimes I have these crazy deals like, no, if I do this, then I'm gonna reduce the closing costs for the clients, and if I do this, maybe we can reduce the capital gains for the seller. So I like to do like strategies and think, and be creative.
Right. So, how can people reach you if they want to, if they have questions?
Well, I have my web page that is skiadvisors.mx, and also they can find me like Google. They can find me there. They can call my office. They can send me an email, or they can also text me. I'm always available. I have a US line for my clients, so they can call me directly. And I want to offer something to your audience, a complimentary service for them, like legal advice.
Okay.
Anybody that is listening to this podcast, if you're interested in buying or selling, you have a complimentary legal service with me, like about one call to answer all your questions.
And for people who are watching or listening, we will repost this with her contact information and her website so that you can reach out to her directly. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. The market in Rocky Point is very, very busy right now. Unlike some people think, well, it's hot or whatever. It is hot, but the market's hot. So if you're thinking about selling, it's a great time to put your house on the market. There's lots of people. If you're thinking about buying, please come down during the week, because a lot of places are rented and you won't be able to see them. And please give your realtor lots of notice so they can clear their schedule and make sure they have time to show you property. Thanks again, Suzette. Over the course of the next little while, her and I are going to be digging deeper into actual real paperwork that you have to go through, like the settlement statement. And we'll be looking at an offer to purchase and a listing agreement and just going through that so that she can explain it to everyone, so that when it's time for you to buy or sell, you know exactly what's going on.
I'll be happy to do it.
Okay, everyone. Thanks and have a great week. If you are coming to Mexico, if you have a pet so far, they are definitely you're able to bring dogs. Please check on that all the time. Remember that the USDA does not control the Mexican border. The Mexican border is separate from that. So you can't phone the Lukeville border on the US side and ask them about Mexico, because that's not their jurisdiction. If you are leaving Mexico and going back, you should have the screwworm, free of screwworm health certificate, which you can obtain from any vet here. It just takes a few minutes to go into the vet. They'll check your animal and give you a certificate that's good for 5 days just before you go back. But once again, just check both sides of the border before you're coming or going, because you don't want to be stuck on either side. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. Thanks again, Suzette.
Thank you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.